Please welcome Deepa Nair, moderator for panel discussion. She is a part of Adani family office. She has been a pillar of strength in the journey of Be Connected and bringing it from mere conversations to a success as we are witnessing today. Our next panelist, please welcome Sushma Ojha. She is currently associated with Adani Group as a consultant for sustainability. She had spearheaded CSR in Adani Foundation for a decade and groomed army of dedicated social worker. She is also been associated with MICA as an advisor. Let us welcome Rajiv Arora. He is HR head of Adani Enterprise Limited. He has strengthened recruitment, performance management, and employee relation practices in various industries. Our next panelist is Major Prieti Shirawat. She is an ex-army officer, a Zumba instructor, a mountaineer, and an avid dancer. With Adani Group, she is a cluster security head of Gurgaon region. She is also a strong and promising contender for Mrs. India 2023. Let's welcome Dr. Skand Bali. Currently, he heads Adani International School. He is also an accomplished educational writer. He is recipient of many awards in the past. To name a few, Outstanding School Leader Award, Iconic Principal Changing the World. Please welcome Deveshri Patel. She is an example of congruence of technology and leadership. She heads IT department of Adani Reality. She is recipient of Women Influencer Leadership Award and Next 100 Award, which recognizes professionals having spirit to become CIOs. Last but not the least, we have Harmilan Bains among us. She is a queen of track, national record holder in middle distance running, and ardent sports personality of our country. She won National Open Athletic Championship in 1500 meter in September 2021. Our best wishes to her for upcoming 2024 Olympics, Paris Olympics. Thank you to all. Over to you, Deepa ma'am.
Good morning, everyone. It's fantastic to see all of you over here. I think this is one of the best audiences we have after a long time, Leena. So you might be thinking, why are we all here? Everyone, today we are celebrating 2022 Adani Women's Day celebrations. And you might be thinking, why all of us are present over here? I mean, a group of people just on the stage. So we have collected, a complete different areas of Adani Parivar being represented here. Be it IT and technology, be it sports, be it HR, be it CSR, be it sustainability, or be it education. We as a group is awesome, which is very evident from the amazing panelists and the amazing audience who are here. So, without much further ado, let's start off. Importance of women empowerment in nation building. A lot of people have asked me when I announced this, when we and Leena discussed and Anshul brought up this topic, women empowerment and nation building, how are they connected? At least a few of you guys have asked that question to yourself and to others. So that's what we are planning to discuss here. How is it connected? How are women connected to nation building? That's a new topic, right? But women as such are considered to be architects of a society. She nurtures, she brings into a world new life. She educates them, holds the family together and the society, and establishes new age citizen. So if that woman, who is the pillar of the society, is empowered, that will bring every nation few steps ahead, and India is no less. So that is what we are thinking of discussing over here. Hopefully we'll conclude with some amazing discussion and with some amazing points. Thank you so much. So Sushma ji, over to you. This is one point which we have been discussing quite often. So what is your perspective or what is your take on this topic?
I would say that women not only constitute 50% of population, they can be torchbearer for any change. So if women are empowered, then you are sure that you will see the change, be it at any level. So I'll just give you my own example, that I was fortunate that my parents never considered any parity. So we were treated equally. And who I am today is because how I was treated then. I was allowed, or I would say that a kind of encouraged to travel by myself at the age of 6. Now looking back, I might think that my father might have told conductor or bus driver to take care of me. But kind of empowerment I got that, I'm going by myself. That is what we need to give it to all the women, so that they feel empowered, and if they are empowered, they can bring about any change in their home, in their society, at nation, because they influence so many other people. I don't want to go in cliche that, if you train one mother, she will act as 100 teachers. But that is so very true. So I would say that empowered, confident woman can bring about any change anywhere, not in only her, but at nation.
Okay, so she is basically an influencer.
Yes.
So strong women, as we all have over here. Thank you so much, Sushma ji. Over to you, Rajiv. Your perspective we would like to have.
Surely. Obviously, see, as a group, we want to invest in diversity. There is no doubt about it. I think we have been in certain traditional sectors, talent pool was constrained. But as we now look at nation building and as a large conglomerate which influences decision makers across, I think it's imperative for us. And particularly when I look at newer services like technology, IT, digital, I think it's one, there is an availability of talent. I think there's a fair bit of openness to look at diversity and inclusion. Today, ultimately our services are being used by customers, and customers don't have bias. So whether it is a female customer or a male customer. So when we are offering our services, so why not have people who are creating these services or products be also more open in diversity, and so that more innovation can happen. As an example, our latest venture, the Adani Digital Labs, I think from day one the leadership was fairly conscious that if I have to create the best of the applications which are going to get consumed by our consumers, then we have been very carefully ensuring that diversity and inclusion are subjects on the table. And it's one of the youngest teams, but we clearly have the numbers in terms of to say that yes, we have 20% diverse already. Similarly, in our services like cyber security, IT, physical security also. So I was at least we were very conscious that we have a women leader in the security network also. So that way I think the group will definitely be much more open. And we are very clear in our thought process that a lot of innovation, creativity will happen. We have to definitely remove the biases from the managers. I think that starts at home. The last 2 years, at least to the male population, has shown that there can no better person than the female of the house who can handle the crisis. So when crisis can be handled at the home place, then why not at the workplace? So we are, I would say, and even as I speak, by June, July, we are hiring close to 1,000 graduate trainees. And I'm happy to share that we have consciously put the effort that we will have 100 of them as female colleagues.
Whoa.
So which again will go to a lot of traditional sectors. And these youngsters will definitely go into the traditional sectors also, as well as IT. And then obviously I think over a period of time, forums like Be Connected, I think they will definitely, because it's easy to hire, but to really ensure that they move up in the career, to have policies and procedures which really enable them. I think also initiatives, see, ultimately there's a crunch of talent. And then you have also the challenge to attract talent from a variety of other cities to Ahmedabad and other towns. So I think there is also a conscious effort needed that how do we really look at, because Shantigram itself has a lot of talent pool. So can we look at some of those talent through our schools or university and other ventures? I think those are for us as actions for us to take as leaders.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Rajit. I think that's the best example what Rajit said. Chandrawat sir, we have quite a bit of majors joining now. There's Major Prieti Shirawat, and we have one more, I suppose. Yes, Suchetna.
My video.
Yes, Preeti.
I would like to start with our home. Like when a child is born, there is only one difference: gender, male and female. But it very basic, at that point only we start the biases. If a male is born, it's celebrated. If a female is born, they are happy, but it's not celebrated in that grand way. It happens with me, it must have happened with all of you. But now we are changing. So at that very point of time, we have to change. Like, I'm sure when my daughter will be born, I'll celebrate it like, huge celebration. And if a woman is a homemaker, so she is by choice. It doesn't mean that she doesn't have the capability to go ahead or to work outside. So anyone can be a homemaker also, because it's her choice to be a homemaker. And she should be empowered to take decisions at the home level also. It doesn't mean that she just have to cook food or बच्चों का ख्याल रखना है, husband का ख्याल रखना है, in-laws का रखना है. No, sorry. This is her choice कि she is supporting the men, she is supporting the family. So homemaker is also important. I mean, women empowerment doesn't mean that she has to go outside and work in the office area. Being at home and being equally, giving her 100% in all the decisions of the family is also women empowerment. So I think that should start at our home. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Ms. Nair, for having me over, and a very good morning to all of you, and a very happy International Women's Day to all of you. I think it's a very important point, women empowerment. Whether we talk about home or whether we talk about professional life in general, there has been disparity. There has been, I won't say that there has been a depression, but there has been lack of encouragement of women. For example, it took us 70 years after independence to realize that women can play an active part in armed forces, though they were shoulder to shoulder in the freedom struggle. Coming from a country like ours, I think was too late, and still a lot has to be done on that front. Fortunately, I represent the industry where women are playing a very active role, that is education. Be it in terms of providing education, be it in terms of educational leadership, and they are doing some fantastic and fascinating work as well. Even the mindset has to change. If my wife and I together go for work, the general mindset is that the wife or the mother or the daughter has to make the breakfast before she leaves, and she's the one who has to serve the dinner as well when she gets back. So I think the change has to happen on both fronts, as Major Shirawat said, even at the individual thought process, and even in the society at large. So I think this is very, very important point, women empowerment. Should not be discussed only on one day. I think it has to become a way of life.
Yeah, I think my voice will reach till there. Well, like Dr. Bali rightly said, and Rajiv was also mentioning, it starts at home with our children, boys, be it a boy or a girl. Like, I can give an example of my son who makes my morning tea because he gets up first rather than me. So I think it starts, the biasness, breaking that biasness starts from our own respective houses. But yeah, my son makes tea, but then when my mother-in-law is at home, I don't think he'll get to make tea because you obviously have an idea, right? They have that 80-plus-year-old mindset, which doesn't allow a boy to step inside the kitchen. But nowadays, the younger generation are much more confident and much more open. So that is my take on this. I hope all of you agree to it. That was fantastic. Thank you, ma'am. That was fantastic. So I think we should look into that. All of you women can also think about it, whether we can replicate that at our own respective houses. So over to you, Deveshri. What is your take on women empowerment? How does it help in nation building?
Sure. Thanks, Deepa, and good morning, everybody. So I grew up in an environment wherein we had a lot of biases. For example, certain jobs were meant for only men. If you are a woman, then you got to be a doctor or a teacher only. So if you pursue some other career choice, it used to be a battle at home as well as in society. So I remember when I chose engineering as my career, I got a lot of pushback. And it was more like, oh my God, engineering, then safe environment nahi hoga, going out, धूप में काम करना पड़ेगा, plants होंगे. And there was a typical image about the whole engineering and related career choices. When I said that I want to specialize in computer science, or let's say IT, suddenly those things changed. So what I learned was IT as an industry, I think, has always been driven by Western professional culture, which is more open towards inclusiveness, and that's how I think, as compared to any other industry, I think IT industry has lesser biases, which kind of helped me, and that's why I'm here today.
Wow, thank you so much, Deveshri. Harmilan, the queen of middle distance running, we are happy to have her here. I'm proud of you too. So give us your thoughts on how this connects with you.
Thank you, ma'am. And good morning, everyone. मैं एथलीट हूँ और जब ग्राउंड में जाती हूँ तो मेरी एक अलग पहचान है. पहले जाती थी या बाकी लड़कियों की तरह जाती थी तो देखती थी लड़के भी या बाकी कोचेस भी कैसे बच्चों को डील करते हैं. अरे चल चल यहाँ से यहाँ ऐसे नहीं बैठना है. अब जाती हूँ एक नेशनल रिकॉर्ड के बाद तो कोई किसी की हिम्मत नहीं पड़ती ऐसे बोलने की. तो जो मैंने कमाया है एक वुमेन होने के नाते मैं चाहती हूँ वो सबके पास ऐसा हो हक. क्योंकि आज मैं किसी को देखती हूँ ऐसा किसी वुमेन को ऐसा बोलते हुए तो इट हर्ट्स. तो मैं चाहती हूँ कि जो चीज़ अब जो रिस्पेक्ट मैंने कमाई है वो हर एक वुमेन कमाए, कि आप इतने स्ट्रांग होके आगे आओ कि किसी की हिम्मत ना पड़े ऐसा बोलने की.
Thank you so much. I mean, her story, if you go through it, we'll of course come back to her on listening to her story. But her story should inspire quite a number of athletes and people like us. Thank you so much, Harmilan. Over to you, Sushma ji. So, coming back, what are you have been a doyen of CSR and sustainability, if I may put it that way, and you've been an advocate of empowering rural women. So, among rural women, what challenges did you face while working with rural women, and how could you change their perspective? How did it work out?
See, I was born and grew up in villages. So first thing is that I could tell my story. Today we saw many women talking about that how they were empowered. While working with women, the first thing that we need to do is instill that trust and faith in themselves, that they are capable of doing what they are admiring other people that they are doing. And many a times it's the small steps that you need to take. That you can do this. If you tell them that something which is too far away, it's not fathomable, and they feel that मैं तो ऐसा नहीं कर सकती, ये तो ऐसा नहीं होगा. छोटी छोटी किश्तों में विनिंग पावर आता जाएगा, एम्पावरमेंट होता जाएगा, and then they inspire other. It's very contagious. आपको सबसे कठिन काम है वो एक महिला को जगाना कि तुम कुछ हो,
Right.
और वो दूसरी महिलाओं को भी जगाएगी. And when we talk about sustainability or climate change, women can be the biggest proponent because they are the one who are teaching kids.
I think it's more similar to what Preeti ma'am's message was. Like one woman, they started off with one woman and then they started inspiring other women, 5, 25, 100.
Yes. And and the main thing is that you have to show the change too. That and many a times that's what we do. That in focus group discussion you talk about that. You remember nicely chatting away. You remember when you came for the first time in a group, how you were and what you are today. And that influences many people. It's, yes, they have challenges because when they come out, the other half may not agree to them being empowered. But I would say that, when they start making decisions in the family, not only about what they are earning, but generally, कि कहाँ पढ़ाना है, क्या खाना है, because we have seen in Suposhan, they know that what to eat, but if someone does not bring those things, then they won't be able to
Make it.
So it's every time, it's not just working with women, but also working with men to support them and support their decisions. That is the part of journey or I would say true community development work.
Basically thinking needs to change, start changing a bit.
And I would say that the breaking biases and change in thinking, everyone has to feel that time is now. And that is what we have to say, कि कल करेंगे, बच्ची को ऐसे करवाएंगे, नहीं, आज
खुद करो पहले.
खुद करो. And even for men, that you don't wait until you have a daughter.
Oh, that's
wherever you are,
huge point. Right.
you have to do it. And for sustainability also, all those minor changes, saving water, saving electricity, saving, all little things that adds up. So I would say that women are not only contributing towards nation building, but they have much bigger role to play when it comes to climate change.
But again, if I may ask, like, you say climate change, you say, sustainability, but I feel that one point which she said is very correct. Now is the time to start the change. I think that's the very important takeaway we can get from what she said at this point of time. And thank you so much for that input. Over to you, Rajiv. Nowadays, HR, the buzzword in HR is inclusion, diversity. Those are the two buzzwords which is happening not only here, but across the world. That's the buzzword now. So, as an HR head of a conglomerate, which has got a mix of traditional as well as the new age business, how are you able to bring about, I'm very sure that you are able to bring about certain changes. How were you able to bring about those changes, and what are the challenges you faced on that? I mean, it's similar to how she faced with rural women. You are handling modern women. That's the only change, I guess.
No, yes, as I mentioned earlier, see, there has been a traditional mindset. I think that definitely needs a change. As leaders, I think we need to be embracing this change. And I think history clearly says that if we don't change, we will get not anywhere. So therefore, I think a role of HR and business leader is to say that, okay, how can we bring competitive talent? And I think it could be biases towards anyone. It could be biases towards female, or it could be biases towards male members. So I think for us, it's more about how do we really mitigate some of these biases with the leaders. And as I said, there are great examples around us, I think in the corporate world, or that today in no way any gender is lesser to the other. And the decision making is important. And I think we need to help and groom, I think is very important. Because see, today HR is seen as a conscious keeper. I think the real conscious keepers are the female colleagues. Because see, that they make the room attentive. So, because it's very important, because see, our bias is about, okay, koi aspas female nahi hai, so we can do everything. So that also has to change. Yes, yes. So which is the reason? Yes. So that is, I think that is very important. That how do we really ensure that the conscious keepers around us are really helping us solve for the future, and that's the way it should be done. And I think we have to also allow, people call about glass ceilings, etc. I think somewhere we need to be flexible. See, today everyone needs flexibility, whether it's from a parent view, male or a female. I think today managers need to appreciate that there are biological conditions for which workforce may likely to deplete at certain age brackets. So how do we come back? I've also seen from an HR view that we tend to see, okay, what was your salary drawn 5 years back or 4 years back? I think we need to make it much more competitive. At the end of the day, it's about pay parity. We are implementing a compensation tool over the next few months. I can tell you, a manager can actually see whether I'm making conscious pay parity decisions or not. Because see, it's not, okay, girl ko hire kar liya, but maybe we hired at 30% lower price. So I think some of those also need to be corrected among the managers, and HR fraternity has to also lead it. So I think those, because see, those are the things which hurt people. So as long as we are able to bring that fairness, and fairness in growth or fairness in an opportunity, I think from an organization view, I think it's very important that we are fairer and we are able to indicate and demonstrate that. And I think that will give a lot of empowerment and confidence to the female colleagues, that in no way have you lowered my, let's say, aspiration element, even though you allowed me to enter the family, but I continue to grow and blossom. I think that's the way I look at it.
Like in Prieti ma'am's message, it was very evident. Hiring is the easiest part. Giving opportunity. Opportunity is the key word that Rajiv has been mentioning. I think hiring is pretty easy, but giving her the right opportunity to grow, that's the key word from the takeaway from your conversation we had. Thank you so much, Rajiv. Thank you so much. I would request all of you also to add on to what each other's discussion, because I know you're all relevant in your own topics, but as colleagues and opinionated people, I suppose, if I may put it across that way, I think we all have opinions about everything under the sun. So please be welcome to join in any of those discussions.
I would just add, and I think that
You want the mic?
Being in CSR spectrum, we really don't need mic. Because, so what I would add here, not only the opportunity, but enabling environment for women to thrive. You know, many a times I have seen people ask that शादी अभी करनी है, कितने साल के बाद, फैमिली कब प्लान करोगी, तो फिर कंटिन्यू करेंगे या नहीं. You know, those are the things. So I would say that enabling environment, that, you know, men also have they also raise family. So why only those kind of questions to women, right? So that we need to do it. That yes, team should say that, you know, you should remind that it's your gynec appointment. Go ahead, we will take care.
That resonates with most of the women here, I think.
Yes.
And maybe the men also can connect to that point. Thank you so much. Preeti, I think you being in army, I think you might have faced all these questions. I mean, like Sushma ji said, this question, getting married, you're in army, how are you going to, the career? And I know you are a complete advocate of self-defense. I don't know whether how many of you have seen the video of hers, amazing conversation she had. So you have been an advocate of self-defense, on self-awareness. And I wanted to ask, could you tell me about the change it brought, your army life per se, has brought to you as a person? And what learning could you bring it, the learning from there, to bring you brought to the corporate world?
First, I'll talk about self-defense, or especially for all the girls sitting here. There is only one ब्रह्मास्त्र. ये लड़की है, इसके पास मत जाना, ये छोड़ेगी नहीं. This is the one ब्रह्मास्त्र. You make your reputation कि तुम्हारे पास कोई ना आए. वो कैसे होती है? मैं बहुत ही simple examples हैं जो मैंने करे हैं, जो आपको करने चाहिए. सब गाड़ी चलाते हैं, everyone knows driving, ठीक है? एक गाड़ी में हैमर पक्का रखना, डिग्गी में नहीं, आगे डैशबोर्ड पे. You know, everyone should see it कि she is carrying a hammer. दिखा नहीं तो बेका नहीं. Okay, this is like that type. So carry a hammer and you know, यार इसके पास तो हैमर है. और क्या है? Swiss knife होता सबके पास है. अब वो कैसे दिखाएंगे? Suppose you are standing in a gathering, so there is a filer. Start filing your nails with Swiss knife. दो चार निकाल के इधर उधर दिखा दो तो सामने वाला okay, she is carrying a Swiss knife also. Carry a pepper spray. How to show? दो चार कीड़े मार देते हैं ज़मीन पे पेपर स्प्रे से. So I am saying कि this, it might sound funny, but it creates a reputation around you कि this girl is aware, she is social aware, she knows her surroundings, she knows the surrounding culturally, and भाई boss इससे दूर. So of course with self-defense you should also learn some techniques. And the first thing I would say, to be fit. कुछ भी होता है तो सबसे पहले क्या आता है? भाग जाओ. If you are not fit, you will not be able to run. So staying fit is very important for everyone, male, female, both, because accident can happen, emergency can happen with anyone. So staying fit is very important. See, God has created us with certain conditions, with limitations, but we can, you know, with fitness or with some training, you know, we can be our best version of ourselves. So staying fit is very important. And small techniques. कुछ नहीं आता तो at least क्या बोलते हैं, लाठी, stick fighting. We must know, ठीक है? चिल्लाना. If I would ask any one of you, stand up and say shout or no. Can anyone demonstrate it? कौन कितना तेज बोल सकता है? क्योंकि वो भी, अगर आप कोई आपके सामने खड़ा है and if you just shout no or stop, so this is an hindrance. वो वहीं शायद रुक जाएगा. See, this is all self-defense. If you are, if you know some techniques, if you are aware, so you will be confident. आपको रात को काम करना है, दिन में काम करना है, you want to go anywhere, so you are super confident in achieving your targets, in achieving your goals. So I think this is very important in today's life, in today's environment, with all the cases, with all the statistics we have, all the cases which go unreported because we are not voicing it, because we considered it as normal. So I think the self-defense and self-awareness is very important now more than ever. So this is one thing. And second thing which Deepa ma'am, you have asked about the army. So yes, I would definitely like to recite a poem which my course mate Major Shikha has written for me, telling about my army life and the corporate. हाँ, मैं एक स्त्री हूँ और मुझे गर्व है. मैं बारिश की बूंदों की तरह हर रिश्ते में ढल जाती हूँ. कभी बेटी, कभी पत्नी, कभी माँ कहलाती हूँ. जिंदगी के हर रंग को मैंने अपने अस्तित्व में पिरोया है। मातृभूमि की सेवा में ऑलिव ग्रीन भी संजोया है। सूरज से पहले उठना, अनुशासन में रहना, हथियार चलाना, कभी 50 किलोमीटर कभी 5 किलोमीटर दौड़ना, दिन और रात देश की सुरक्षा के लिए ट्रेनिंग का हर कदम जवानों के साथ उठाया है। घर में नहीं कोई ऐसा रिवाज, समाज क्या कहेगा, रात को देर से आना, चरित्र भी ताने सहेगा। अब तू माँ है, ये सब छोड़ दे, घर को संभाल, एक बच्चा और जोड़ दे। रोक टोक रुकावटों ने तराशा, मजबूत बनाया है। अपनी जिंदगी अपनी शर्तों पे जीना सिखाया है। कल मातृभूमि की सेवा में अगर सर, आज मैं कॉर्पोरेट में सुरक्षा प्रमुख हूँ। अपने पति की हिम्मत और सहयोग, अपनी बेटे की सुपर मॉम हूँ। ये तो बस शुरुआत है, अभी खुद को आगे और बढ़ाना है। निर्भय जियो, आगे बढ़ो, सबको यही बताना है। हाँ, मैं एक स्त्री हूँ और मुझे गर्व है।
I really don't think she needs to say anything further on the life which she had and the life which she is going to have. Thank you so much, Preeti. That was awesome. Coming to Dr. Bali, education is one field, like you said, which helps. I mean, so many women are, connected with education field. But does this point influence in bringing more girl child into education? I mean, do they bring them back to schools? How do you think this one point can influence bringing a girl child into the system?
I don't think that point can make a difference in bringing the girl child to the school unless until the society as a whole changes its mindset. Unfortunately, around the world, the literacy levels of girl child is less than 40%. And I'm talking about the entire world. And the saddest part is that most of the educators in the world are women. So I think what as schools we need to do, or what in the education sector we need to do, is we need to teach this from early years. We need to teach children about equality. We need to teach children about giving empowerment to everyone, not just women. We see disparity in terms of children who are differently able. We see disparity in terms of children who come from economically weaker sections. So I think all this has to become a part of the curriculum. Unless until you start delivering that in the children in early years, something which probably the Nazis did, or something which probably the Soviets did long back, or Chinese are doing right now is, or North Korea, they are doing it for a negative. They are brainwashing their children from early years. I think we can definitely empower them from early years if we use education as a positive tool. There are lakhs and lakhs of schools in different parts of the country. I think if we have a system where every school can reach out to the society nearby and attend a few sessions, definitely it can have an impact. As they rightly say, that a lady who's educated then contributes in educating the entire family. So imagine if all women are well educated, how empowered the society would be. So I don't think having women only in education is going to help, but I think using them to change the mindset of children from early years, using them to change the mindset of parents, and probably mindset of some fellow women as well, is what's going to make a difference.
Thank you, Dr. Bali. This was also a point in some of the videos which were shared by Preeti ma'am. One woman is empowered financially, and that is helping her to educate her children, and she has furthermore thought about making them doctors. You know, the aspirations are sky high at this point of time, only because she has been empowered. I think that's a huge lesson which we can all take back from the messages shown by Preeti ma'am also, which connects to what you rightly said. Thank you so much, Dr. Bali, for the message.
Deepati, I would add there, the research and the practice both shows that the women, when they earn, and especially in rural areas, money is spent towards families' welfare, education, healthcare expenses, and saving. Unlike many of the men that we see in rural areas, that it's spent on tobacco, alcohol, and doing what they would like to do.
But again, if I may put it across, women being in career, bringing home the money, it's still seen in many households, I think people might relate to it, it's still considered as a supplementary income to the family income. It is not used per se in more wealth creation. You know, expenses के लिए खर्चा है, अलग रख दो. I don't think it is seen as, you know, a huge contribution to the growth of wealth in the family. I don't think many of us are even taught about it. I don't think, I mean, I know I have a brother who didn't know how to write a check till he was 25 years old. So I can relate to that. It is not only a woman, it's even the boys of this generation. I mean, maybe this generation is, yeah, they work better that way. But yeah, our generation, I think they didn't even know how to handle a checkbook or banking or money per se till, even if they were earning. You know, how many of us are financially aware? I don't have much of an idea, but I'm very sure not many of us are. Deveshri, so I will come to you on that point as to IT and technology has helped us quite a bit. And other than education, IT is one field where I can see a lot of women, right? That's one field where it's welcoming quite a number of women and with a bit of women entrepreneurs also. So tech and new age industry is built in a way that it's inclusive by nature. But how do you see it progressing much further? Because IT industry has always been a bit inclusive. How do you think it is progressing further, and what can IT industry do on that front?
So IT is not just inclusive, Deepa, but it is an enabler. And coming back to the same point that you were discussing, today's boys probably cannot write the checkbook, but they can certainly do GPay and Paytm, etc. So I think the comfort with IT has enabled so many things for everyone. We saw, some stories in the morning today. Let's see how that can make a difference. So, few women working on certain things in pockets of India. Now that's been shot. We saw it today. There are at least 100 people here, got inspired by watching it. Tomorrow this goes public, there will be millions of women and men watching it online, and they will get inspired too. So that is the power of technology, I think. And so it's not only for women, but for everybody, I think it is becoming the enabler. Coming to the point that you brought up, the transitioning of homemakers to being entrepreneurs. So yes, I mean, technology has given, access to so many things for a woman. You go on the internet and you'll see a lot of homemakers, shooting videos of sharing their recipes and, sharing their organizational skills, logistic skills, and earning money, by the way. I mean, end of the day, I mean, all the AVs that we watch, the crux of the whole thing was, there was that happiness of being financially independent. मैं मेरे बच्चे को I can give him a pocket money, मेरे बेटी का school fees मैं भरती हूँ. The sparkles in their eyes that we could see in the AV, I think that is what everybody needs at the end of the day, right? So I think technology is helping in a big way for all the homemakers and for the females who have for some reason taken a break and now they want to restart. So there are a lot of opportunities that technology is providing. It is also helping women at workplace because there is a lot you need to manage at the domestic as well as work front, and you are always in a need of a support and lack of time. So I think at workplace, technology is helping us, keeping us up to date with the evolving technology at our own convenience. At the same time, it is also helping us stay connected with our, home, parents, being able to effectively manage our domestic. So I think, yeah, that's the power of technology, and I think it is really empowering all the women out there. I think we should, use technology to our advantage is all I can say.
Thank you so much, Deveshri. And one more thing I had, yes please. One more thing I had to put in was, I was speaking to both of you while watching Prieti ma'am's video. They were more articulate than any of us, I think, right? I mean, they were very fluent confident. I don't think many of us have that kind of confidence in communicating while being on camera. I mean, I was really amazed. And that confidence has been instilled in them, and I think that is why they've been able to make those changes and make those decisions. I think that was very important. I was speaking to Devashri and we were like, they're more articulate than us on stage. I mean, they've been able to fluently, there's no there's no pause, there's nothing.
Because of the passion that they had.
Yes.
They did all of that.
Yes, I think that was very evident, and the confidence and the smile they had, that was awesome. I think that is something which needs to be instilled and make the changes. Yes,
I'll
Sushma ji.
just add, the reason is that up till now, they have been muted. Now someone has unmuted them, and they become that part that they can speak, and they would like to. And here, I do feel that, they would have been restricted कि अबे इतना ही time है. If given a choice, they can speak for hours, talking about their journey and whatever.
Right. I think Preeti also can.
They have done everything from scratch by themselves. When you do anything by your own hands, or you have done everything, like from basic to this level they have reached. So, आप कभी नहीं होगा. It's very simple. And we are not reading a script. I was reading this poem because it is not written by me. It's written by my friend Major Shikha. So yes, इसलिए I'm using a paper. अगर मैंने खुद लिखा होता तो there would never have been any pause. So do yourself everything. और तभी आप दूसरे को बता सकते हो. And you can teach them जब आपने खुद किया है. अगर आपने खुद नहीं किया है, if we say कि suppose we are cooking a meat, अगर आपने खुद नहीं बताया, you can't say कि इसमें नमक मिर्ची कम है, So when you do by yourself anything, like in army, we have to clean our rifles by ourselves. तो जब तक साफ नहीं करेंगे तो पता नहीं लगेगा कि रोक कहाँ पे आएगी. In civil, when I asked my dad कि I want to drive car, मुझे सिखाओ. For 1 month, I cleaned my dad's car daily, and then he told me how to change the tires. And then after 1 month, he said, okay, now you sit on the driver's seat. So this I've done for a month. So he said कि you should know the basic. Then only you will be fluent in the work. So I think that's all with those women, because this is their journey. So ma'am, अगर आप मुझे बताओगे मेरी आर्मी की जर्नी, so I don't need anything. I can speak on hours and hours, and I think Harmilan will share her journey.
Yes,
soon, and
I think
without any
her
pause.
life herself itself is a journey. Where,
Yeah.
So in continuation, we can come to Harmilan. ये सब जो हम लोगों ने बताया, ये हम लोग खुद किए हैं, लेकिन आपने खुद ही किया है ये, right? So could you share your journey, your struggles with us? I think her story itself is something which can inspire us.
मेरी मर्जी नहीं थी एथलेटिक्स करना. मेरे पेरेंट्स ने फोर्स किया क्योंकि उन्हें लगता था कि हमने स्पोर्ट्स किया तो यही एक फील्ड है जिसमें हम तुम्हें कुछ करवा सकते हैं, हम गाइड कर सकते हैं. दे डिसाइडेड कि उन्होंने ठीक है मुझे करवाना है. तो वो जो चैलेंजेस है जो बीच में मैं फेस कर रही हूँ, कंपटीशन आ रहा है, फील हो रहा है कि यार नी में पेन आ रहा है, वो बहुत हर्ट करता है कि सारा साल हम एक चीज़ के लिए प्रिपेयर करते हैं और ओलंपिक्स तो आते ही 4 साल बाद है, एशियन गेम्स 4 साल बाद है, तो हम 4 साल लगा के एक चीज़ के लिए प्रिपेयर करते हैं और उसी टाइम हमें कोई इंजरी आ जाती है तो वो पेन सिर्फ हम ही फील कर सकते हैं. कोचेज और पेरेंट्स बोल देते चलो अगले साल देख लेना, और फिर ये भी बोलते हैं कि चलो कोई बात नहीं, आप इस एशियन गेम्स के बाद, फॉर एग्जांपल मेरी खुद की ये बात है कि इस एशियन गेम्स के बाद बेटा हम शादी का भी देखेंगे. तो माय क्वेश्चन वाज कि पापा आपके कहने पे शुरू तो कर दिया, मैं आपके कहने पर ही ख़त्म करूँगी क्या, मुझे कंटिन्यू करना है. तो ये है कि हमें एक ही चांस मिलता है और इतने स्ट्रगल्स की हम ग्राउंड में अगर जल्दी चले जाए तो हमें गार्ड्स रोक देते हैं कि अभी अंधेरा है, आप लोग नहीं जा सकते, बट लड़के चले जाएं. सो ये चीज़ बहुत ज़्यादा हम पे इम्पेक्ट करती है कि मैं तो चलो ठीक थी, जो मेरे साथ जूनियर्स थी जिन्हें स्कूल जाना होता था उसके बाद, उनके लिए फील होता था सिर्फ 1 घंटा ही अपने गेम को दे पाते हैं, उसमें हमारा वार्म अप ही 20 मिनट्स का रहता है, क्या वर्कआउट करेंगे और क्या जॉगिंग करेंगे, तो कूल डाउन नहीं होगा, तो फिर हमें परफॉर्मेंस भी उनसे चाहिए। और फिर सारे लोग बैठकर ओलंपिक्स तो देख लेते हैं, लेकिन पार्टिसिपेट करने के लिए वहाँ पे कौन है? हम देखते हैं यार इसमें तो इंडिया का है ही नहीं, तो हम सभी लोग तो बैठ के टीवी देख रहे हैं और जज इतनी इजीली कर देते हैं कि कोई है ही नहीं। सो अगर हम एक जैसे हम वुमेन के लिए बोलते हैं कि ठीक है, मुझे पता है कि आई नो कि मेरे पास यही चांस है, मुझे बार बार चांस नहीं मिलेगा, पर यही मैं अपने भाई को भी देखती हूँ तो ही इज चिल, ठीक है कोई बात नहीं, और नहीं भी करेंगे तो चलेगा। तो हमारे इंडिया की जितनी इंडिया में ओलंपिक्स में देखते हैं तो ज़्यादा वुमेन्स मेडल लेके आती हैं, क्योंकि वी नो वी हैव ओनली वन चांस। पर मैं अपने भाई को देखती हूँ, ही इज़ सच अ गुड बॉडी, अगर वो गेम करे तो डेफिनेटली 100 मीटर्स में जो बहुत टफ है ओलंपिक्स में इंडिया को रिप्रेजेंट करना, वो कर सकता है। पर उसे इस चीज़ को उसको हेडेक नहीं है कि ही है लग्जरियस लाइफ, ठीक है उसको बाइक मिल जाएगा, उसको सब कुछ बनाया मिलेगा, लेकिन हमें खुद बनाना पड़ता है। सो दैट्स टफ।
That's beautiful. I think that's one point which she said, हम लोग को बनाए कुछ नहीं मिलता है, खुद अर्न करना है, खुद बनाना है।
नहीं मिलता है, पर फिर हमारी शादी हो जाती है और फिर वो हमसे दूर जाते हैं, फिर से बनाना पड़ता है।
Opportunities lost. I think that is one thing which, there are a few points which I wrote down, which is very important, I think. During the conversation, thinking, time is now, opportunity, inspiring others, enabling environment, self-awareness, like Preeti said, be an influencer, change in policy. So a mix and match of all this should be bringing about women empowerment and guide us towards nation building. I think that's what I feel. I hope everybody feels the same. But Rajiv ji, सिर्फ एक चीज आपको पूछना था. It's working, I hope. I think it is right. So, like earlier, I was mentioning that women, when they have a career and bring the money home, it's kind of like a supplementary income. But all said and done, she is one of the main caregivers. And it is her career which takes a step back when such an unfortunate circumstance or a maternity opportunity rises. So, as an HR, you might have seen this happen quite a bit. So, how can an organization support in such an instance? 6 months maternity is not going to help any bit. I know, and you all know. But fact remains that how can an organization support? I'm not talking about Adani, it's general per se. How can an organization support in such a system? Because she is the main primary caregiver. She is the one who will have to take a step back, because I have done a step back. It's from my experience. Because when my son was in 9th standard, and me as well as my husband both were traveling frequently, got a call from school saying that he's in 9th, he's going to be in 10th, one of you needs to take a step back. And it obviously was me who took a career break. So, because the hectic traveling of both the parents were affecting his studies. So, in such an instance, how can an organization support a woman?
So now, see, there are examples. We interview a lot of the candidates on a daily basis. So there are a lot of examples of such issues. And organizations are also, what they're trying to do is create larger frameworks and bring in the flexibility. Devshri mentioned about technology. So if I look from an India incorporation view, I think the technology has enabled that work can be delivered. Certain set of work can be delivered in a hybrid way or in a more flexible way. And today, I think flexibility, even if I look at organizations, is being asked by the male members also, because it's parenting as a issue or taking care of our parents as an issue. So I think those are frameworks which are available. And as I said earlier also, that I think fairness has to be there. I think managers should have the capacity to hear it out, because sometimes they would go to HR to say, do we have a policy? And honestly, see, HR cannot make all policy. and all.
Right, I
And see,
understand.
the more I create policies, I think it will be more rigid. And so I think we should be flexible. I think situations should allow us. Parents could suffer from cancer. I've seen, at least in my earlier life also, that we never had a policy for someone working in Guwahati. But we did allow the individual just because the parent was there and somewhere had to be supported. Similarly, today as a national organization, I think it is much easier for us. And I think my request to individuals and employees is that they should not hesitate. See, dropping off from an employment is the most easiest, that I resign and I quit. I think that support is required. Talk to managers, talk to HR, talk to leaders, that this is what I need for the next 365 days. Okay, and I'm ready to take few compromises, which is fine. But I really want to contribute and be successful. I think that's the way, because today ultimately it's talent shortage, and it's not easy to hire, and it's not easy to attract people, and therefore unless we ourselves are not able to change and challenge some of these biases of the past, I think it will be a lot sort of losing opportunity.
Yeah, the support from the organization is very important, and that I can something which I vouch for with my own experience. Jatin sir is here from my team. The support, the unfortunate circumstance which I faced myself, the support which I received from them and from Rana sir was, awesome, because that's the only reason why I was able to continue my career here. They allowed me to take the right breaks, supported me throughout, and I'm thankful for that actually, and I think that is the kind of support we will all envision from our organization and from our team members. Right? And I also wanted to ask you guys this question. Financial literacy, again from my own viewpoint and my own experience, is something which is very much required. As an educator, Dr. Bali, how does it affect, we are not taught this. How to handle money is not taught in any curriculum. I don't think we even discuss that in our dining table. It's not even a dining table conversation or a living room conversation, I guess. Any thoughts? I'll ask, it's an open question for all of you. What are your thoughts on it? It is very important, I know, but how can we inculcate that into our DNA, into our houses, into our curriculum? Do you think it is possible? Starting with you.
It is possible. There's no reason why it can't be done. I think most of the time we take things for granted and we don't realize it till someone, raises that flag, the way you've done just now. So I think we'll do it in our school definitely. Apart from financial literacy, nobody teaches you how to use a cell phone. Nobody teaches you basic life skills, like ma'am just now said that when you start learning how to drive, how many of us are taught how to change the tire, So definitely it is possible, and we as educators have to make sure that we give these kind of life skills to our children before they step out of the school. So definitely possible.
Harmilan, any thoughts on this? You were a big advocate during our discussions.
हेलो एक्चुअली हमारी जो गेम है बोला जाता है बहुत महंगी है. हमारा शूज़ 10-10 हज़ार का, 5-5 हज़ार का. तो हमें लगता है कि जहाँ हम इन्वेस्ट कर सकते हैं वो सिर्फ हम पर, अपने आप पर. इंडिया में पेरेंट्स लड़कियों पे इन्वेस्ट नहीं करते हैं कि ये सेव नहीं करेंगे तो डॉरी कैसे देंगे. और ये बहुत बड़ा पॉइंट आता है. जैसे मैंने बात की थी घर पे कि मुझे केनिया जाना है प्रैक्टिस करने के लिए, तो बजट वगैरह निकाला तो ऑलमोस्ट 10 to 15 lakhs का खर्चा हो रहा था. तो पापा मम्मी को डिस्कस करते हुए सुना कि यार कैसे करेंगे, डॉरी भी देनी है वो पता नहीं किसको लेनी है या नहीं लेनी है, लेकिन इनको देनी है. तो यार मैं सोच रही कि अगर मैं कुछ बन जाऊंगी, तो अगर मैं आगे जाके एक ओलंपिक विनर बन जाऊंगी, इंडिया के लिए मेडल लेके आऊंगी, कि इसके बाद भी इन्हें कुछ देना पड़ेगा क्या उसे. तो मे बी जब आपका 10-15 लाख में सर रहा है मतलब मुझ पे इन्वेस्ट करके, तो क्यों नहीं कर रहे हो. उसके बाद मैं इतनी अपनी इनकम कमाने लग जाऊंगी कि आई डोंट थिंक कि उसे ज़रूरत पड़ेगी. सो माई मेन पॉइंट इज़ कि आपके बच्चे होंगे तो मैं चाहूँगी आप लड़की होगी तो उस पर इन्वेस्ट करो, डॉरी के लिए बचा के मत रखो, वो उतना खुद कर लेगी.
Thank you so much.
Just one point, ma'am. I think
Being in army, we know कि when your husband is posted in field areas, so Now you are there for your family. You have to do everything. So it's a very good initiative which we take. We tell the wives what is the pay slip or usme what are the options, what actually how much income your husband is earning. So we it's like this forum only. We call them like monthly or quarterly, and we tell them how to book tickets, how to go to a bank and do this job on loan, and how to take a study loan, and how to use your ATM, Paytm, everything, because your husband is not with you every point of time. And if he's sitting in a field station where there is no network and you have to do it right now, so you can't go to your neighbor's house or you know, so you have to teach them. So this will empower them. So they'll be independent. They can take care of their family. So I know कि we do grooming sessions, we do definitely. I think girls के लिए सबसे पहले कुछ भी दिमाग में आता है तो it's like let's have a grooming session, but they're already groomed. I think men needs grooming. What I think. So we should go with the financial literacy. Yes, कि what's the Form 16, how to invest, what are the SIPs, what are the mutual funds. Whenever a new joinee is there, and part of Adani also, or any organization in the world, there should be a session from the finance department ki, like abhi ma'am, there was Velmar ka jab hamara abhi IPO aaya tha. So many of us were not aware ki, how to invest for that IPO. Yes, there were sessions on the YouTube, but it should be like compulsory session, because unfortunately, some incident will happen in your life. I don't know about my father's, how many accounts he hold. I don't know. मुझे अभी तक नहीं पता है. So मतलब ऐसा ना हो, but किसी के साथ अगर ऐसा हो जाता है, so yes, finance is important. It's not bad or it's not wrong to ask him कि yes, how much money you are holding, how much houses, how much land, or how many accounts you are there, because if you are not there, and it will happen with every one of us, one day will not be there. So the children should be aware ki what's our future. So I think it is very, very, very important. It should be part of the curriculum. I'm so happy, Dr. Bali, ki if it will be part of the education department, even with the employees also. So
I would like to add, the first thing Jatin sir did, after I came back and joined office, is send out an Excel sheet in which he has put everything what a spouse needs to know, sent it across and said, fill this, print to all the team members, okay? Fill it, print it and keep it at the safe place so that your spouse can take it up if something happens. So this contains all the details. It's like 2 or 3 pages full of data which he sent to us, all of us, and said, fill this and keep it ready. You don't know what is going to happen. I'm thankful for him for that, actually.
Not made for that situation.
No, that's what it's. I mean, I went through it, so that's how he prepared that and sent it shared with all of us. And I think Leena was planning on a financial topic. The next event, yes, of be connected with how can we at least give a basic idea of what needs to be done and how do you interpret the finances, basically. Because most of us, I don't think, even have joint accounts with your husbands or even your children. They need to be educated on how to handle money. So to conclude, I hope you enjoyed the discussion which we had over here. Few points which are coming up: literacy, financial literacy specifically, and the change. The time is now, like she said, the change has to begin from home. You make the changes, you're an educated woman, you make the relevant changes in your respective environment. It will enable the others to make the changes. And no bias between boys and girls. That's one point which is coming up again and again. That you teach your son in a similar way how you will teach your girl child also. So that he knows how to respect a woman, and she also knows that there's no stereotyping to be had. So that mindset needs to come from your respective houses. So those are a few points which is coming up from the discussions. And I hope you enjoyed. I really enjoyed this discussion of having such eminent personalities from Adani Parivar over here. Thank you so much, all of you. Thank you so much, Harmilan. You're a part of Adani Parivar and your story will inspire quite a number of people. Thank you so much. Thank you.